Hello and welcome back, guys. This is part 2 to my previous upload that spoke about, let's say, cleaning out. What am I trying to say? This is the third time that I'm trying to record this because I keep on trying to find the right words, because I know that this recording is going to trigger a lot of people, and that's okay. This is why I'm here. This is my role in this life. I'm pretty much just walking karma to people. That's fine. This is what I have chosen. I am at peace with that. But however, I do wish to say these things in a way where I do not pass judgment. I wish to communicate this in the most high vibrational way I can, because it is meant for the highest vibrational you that are listener. So let's do this again. This is part 2 to my previous upload that spoke about clearing out your past timelines, healing things, releasing things, changing the past, if you will, because that's kind of what we do, and the things from your other incarnations, right? Because this is what we're going through. If you're listening to it, then you're doing this too. So I spoke about besides the current energy that we find ourselves with, which is both merging back into one with our divine counterpart. If you're listening to it, then you are probably in the same situation. And you have cleared so much of the things that you needed to clear out from your current incarnation, that right now what you're doing is you're going back to your, let's say, previous incarnations or parallel incarnations, really, because time doesn't exist, and you're clearing and changing the course of things in those other lifetimes. So this is why all the tiredness, this is why all the let's just say exhaustion, right? So what I touched upon besides that was the importance of cleansing your energy, no matter what is happening, whether you wake up tired in the morning because you have been doing so much work on these higher levels, you have been closing out so many cycles from different lifetimes that you really wake up absolutely exhausted, no matter how much you slept, no matter how well you keep yourself in shape. So no matter your physical state, if you will, it's just you're exhausted. And if you're divine feminine, I mean. And then so in the second part, I wanted to come to the very controversial thing, and you're welcome. That's why I'm here. And I will say that this thing it is something that has been coming back to me over and over and over again since I remember. And it's always been a taboo. It's always been, if you will, an issue, but not even personally. It's like one of these things that has been in the collective. And right now, on my own twin soul journey with my beloved, with my divine masculine, sending you love, by the way, if you're listening to it. If not, I'm sending you love anyway. This thing also comes up because of the stage that I am currently in. And if you are a divine feminine listening to it, and you do have a physical divine masculine, so the other you in a human body, then you're in this situation too. So you have healed so much already, and you have healed the separation. You are in the process of merging back into one being with your other polarity within you, and so the process of your union, or rather reunion, because you're always in union, but there's been this separation, and you have healed that now, and so now it is time for reunion. So what you're doing currently, and what you have been doing for quite a while now, you have been merging back with your divine counterpart. And I'm sorry, I'm still very congested, my throat and my lungs and my nose, so I'm sorry if I sound very nasal. I also need to take a breath here. Okay, so besides all of that, you have healed so much in this current lifetime that what you're doing right now, what your soul is doing right now, you guys are working together with your other polarity, so that other twin soul, and going, let's say, back into your other lifetimes. I'm saying go back because, well, time doesn't exist, but let's say you're going back to your previous lifetimes and you are balancing out the scale. So the karmic debt, you're kind of paying your karma and or kind of dashing out karma to others. So if I were to kind of put it in a very simple terms, you're pretty much going back with your healed version of you, the high vibrational version of you, in the moment that you're currently at when you're listening to it, and you are fixing the situations that made you carry the karmic debt into this lifetime. So you're going into the other parallel universes and you're kind of breaking the patterns in all the possible situations, depending on what kind of wounds you're carrying. You're breaking these patterns there. So kind of the way that it was shown to me very, very long time ago, it was that when you are healing, you're not just healing your current self, you're healing your past self and your future self. So this is kind of what I'm trying to say, that this is what you're doing, right? And because you're on a spiritual journey, you also understand the importance of your own spiritual practices, as in, or like when it comes to taking care of yourself and your own body, whether it's the physical body or the emotional body, no matter, just taking care of yourself, right? So the counterstone of that is, however you wish to call it, but it's cleansing, it's grounding yourself, it's coming back into yourself, coming back into soul. It's pretty much just cleansing yourself or getting rid of anything, let's say from the day before or whatever, like depending on when you're doing this, you're basically getting rid of all the energies that aren't your own. So if you have had a day where you had to go through a certain situation that drained you, that maybe tried to or managed to lower your vibration, like let's say you get back home, right? And home is your safe space, or I hope it is. I pray that it is, because if you have a home that you go back to every single day, let's say from work or whatever, and it is not your safe space, if it's not your sanctuary, it is not the place where you can be truly, authentically yourself, please, I beg you, make necessary choices, because an existence where the place you call home, is not safe for you to be free, to be authentically you, and to that isn't your peace, you are in the wrong place. So please make the necessary choices. Just please make better choices for yourself. You are the most important person for yourself, and honor that, please. Okay, so coming back to what I was trying to say. So you come back to home. Hopefully it is your safe place, and you're kind of like trying to, whatever, no matter how you do it, but you're doing certain things to kind of, get back your peace, get back your like the peaceful state of mind. You're cleansing yourself from the day. You're like kind of trying to come back to yourself, to ground yourself, to cleanse yourself. Some people take showers or baths because they have a strong resonance that water washes away energy, so like they're not their own energy. And I'm sure it does. If this is you, if you feel this way, then I'm sure this is exactly what is happening for you. Some people will maybe meditate, journal, listen to music, maybe listen to healing frequencies, or I don't know, dance, workout, you name it. Whatever you're doing, it's perfect, right? So that is you cleansing yourself from not your energy. And so we talk about how important that is, because no matter where you are, like what part of the journey you're on currently, what is happening around you in your 3D reality or in your higher realms. So like no matter how much or how heavy the spiritual work is that you're doing at night when you're dreaming, as people usually say, I usually call it astral travel because that is what it is. We're not dreaming, but yeah, well, doesn't matter. That's a discussion. That's a rant for another video. But so no matter that, you are supposed to. It's the best for you to cleanse your energy. And so what I touched upon in the part 1 was that everything that is happening to us on a spiritual journey, and if you're listening to it, obviously you're here, you also understand that everything is not happening to you, but it is happening for you. So it's happening for your own sake, right? All the like stressful situations, these situations are trying to teach you something. All the, let's say, rude people that you have met somewhere, or somebody cut you off in traffic, or there is somebody that is driving on the fast driving lane and they're driving way too slow. Just road rage. This is definitely one of my problems. Even though I have not been driving a car for years, but it's still a thorn in my side. Either way, right? So every situation is trying to teach you something. At least patience, if nothing else. But yeah, again, so everything that you're experiencing is really pretty much trying to teach you something. And what I touched upon was the people that we meet really, that we have in our 3D reality, no matter what role they play. Because whether it's, I don't know, just some random person you have met, let's say somebody cut you off in traffic, right? Or you're in a store and then somebody stomped on your foot. I don't know, it's a stupid example, but really every person that we meet, it's really a karmic contract. It's a soul contract, because it's a contract between two souls that have agreed to incarnate on earth, and in that specific moment to meet each other, because both have something to learn from each other, right? Maybe the person, if you're driving and somebody cut you off in traffic, maybe you need to learn patience, let's say, or being whatever, something, not getting so angry at people other people driving cars, and that other person that did it to you also has something to learn. And that is with all people you meet, right? And so there is a difference, because all contracts are soul contracts, because we are souls and have human experience. We are not humans that have souls. There's a very big difference. We are on earth for a short time comparatively to really us as beings, because we are light beings. We are not just these tiny humans and then we die and then there's nothing. No. So every contract, every person you meet is a soul contract, because you are a soul and you have decided or agreed upon with another soul to meet in this lifetime and do something, right? But there are karmic soul contracts. Karmic means that there's a lesson from it, and then there are, well, let's say there's no good word, because this is the truth. It's all a soul contract, right? But there are karmic ones that are strictly and only for our learning. There's a lesson that is meant to happen that both of you, let's say, or both people, let's say, have to learn from, and then the karmic contract is fulfilled and it dissipates. So it kind of, it's not being destroyed, it's fulfilled, but it disappears, and then you and that person will never cross paths again, because that is the nature of a karmic contract, right? And then there are other soul connections, which, for a lack of better words, I call a divine soul contract or divine connection. And those could be probably friendships or family members and romantic love. But those people, like these contracts, these other soul contracts, are actually meant to stay in your life no matter where you are, and no matter, or like, let's say, despite your advancement. So despite your advancement on the spiritual journey, these people will still be a part of your life. And these people, no matter what you do, no matter what they do, you kind of always are there for each other, and you're always supporting each other, even if you're doing something stupid or they're doing something stupid. Of course, I'm saying this jokingly. So no matter the lessons you go through, or no matter like the experiences you go through with a divine connection, the divine connection is a constant in your life, because it's an energetic connection. And then there are the karmic contracts, right? And so they kind of disappear. So these people very much vibrate out of your life once the lesson is done. And so, having said that, what I was trying to get to, and what I'm trying to get to now for the third time, is the importance of releasing your past. If you hear me pause, it is because I'm trying to either listen for guidance or trying to find right words to put it into words so that it comes from my heart and not from the ego. So, and this is a very controversial topic, because this is something that I've been, let's say, that has come up since I remember, with different people, not even personally, but just people that I know, or conversations that I heard or I was witness to, the importance of letting go of your past. And that means letting go of everything. And before you make a judgment, because I know that what I'm going to say is going to trigger something within you, where your initial reaction to it is going to be denial, you maybe will want to click away from the video. Of course, you're very welcome to. You should do whatever you feel guided to. But if you would like to kind of get to the root of why the blockage, why that resistance come within you, then please listen. So when I say that you really should release all of your past, it is not just, well, what I mean is that because all the situations that we have been a part of up to this moment in time, right, and up to every moment that comes, these things happened to us for us so that we could learn from these situations. Each person that we have met, we were also supposed to learn something from. And whether really it is a blood tie, so your human blood family, or even a friend or a coworker, the people that are no longer a part of your life, as in you have now supposedly learned a lesson, right? Where you are at a distance with these people or these situations, you're actually meant to release all of the energy that has to do with these situations or people. I'm going to try to give you a good example. Let's say you have been working at a job that has been extremely toxic for whatever reason, right? And you have felt yourself suffering there for the duration of you working there, right? But that work, because that is kind of the nature of these karmic lessons, is that there are parts of these situations that is very, very attractive to us. As in, like, there is something that we very much enjoy. As in, like, so the example I gave with work, so let's say that your previous workplace had the perk of, I don't know, something, right? Just take a pick. I'm coming up blank right now. So let's say that you work in a place where you get a huge discount for something, and you think like, well, I really don't like being here. I hate this place. Maybe I hate this job. I hate these people. I hate the place where I'm at, or even the town. But I like the good, or like the silver lining of me working here is the fact that I get a huge discount on whatever. Or if you're, let's say, working at, I don't know, like a beauty clinic, right? You maybe hate the job, you hate your coworkers, you hate the customers, you really hate everything about it. I'm joking right now, but you kind of get what the point. So it's very toxic for whatever reason, and it drags you down. It makes you feel bad each time you are there. But you think that, well, at least like the good part is that because it's a beauty cleaning, I maybe get plastic surgeries for free. Let's just say that this is the example, right? And a lot of times these positive things out of these karmic situations, and that also has to do with people. There's like a part of it, like a small part of it, that you kind of enjoy in a way, like, oh, I'm happy I get a discount on something, or I'm happy that I get something for free that maybe other people have to pay for, or maybe, let's say you have really good working hours, but the place is extremely toxic, and like your silver lining, or the silver lining for you, so that the positive part of you working there and being in that karmic situation is the fact that, oh, you know, like every Friday I have a day off, and so I have like a long weekend every single weekend, right? So I love the working hours, but I hate the place. And it's the same thing with people. So each karmic contract, from now on, I will be saying each karmic energy, because each karmic person we are energy, we're not just people. We have a body, but we are energy. So each karmic energy, right? They may be very toxic because they're meant to kind of shed light onto something within you that you are meant to heal. But I don't know, maybe they're very funny, right? And you really enjoy talking to them. Or maybe they are a very influential people and you kind of, let's say, enjoy the fact that that person has a lot of connections. So maybe you can, I don't know, get a better job or, whatever. That it's you can kind of get something out of it, despite maybe the friendship with the person being extremely toxic, right? Now, if you're listening to it, you are probably on a twin soul journey with your divine counterpart. So you're learning your spiritual lessons through romantic love. And so this is the same thing with karmic partners, right? So every karmic energy you have met, they have come into your life because both of you agreed to it to learn something from each other, right? Because then you are also a karmic energy to them. And so either for you or for your divine counterpart, that karmic energy is in your life or your divine counterpart's life to kind of teach them something. So there will be like toxic patterns repeating themselves until, let's say, you kind of learn the lesson, right? So let's say part of your journey is that you are entangled with a karmic partner, right? And you have met your twin soul. You can feel the connection, maybe even you're aware, because I don't know if you're the divine feminine or divine masculine listening, but you know that there's this one person that is pretty much your person. Maybe you cannot really put any labels on it, maybe you cannot explain, but you feel them all the time. They're always present within you and your mind, and you love them so much. They're just dream come true. They're literally everything you ever wanted from a romantic partner. They're extremely attractive. You're extremely attracted to them. You find them really funny, really intelligent, really wise, really fun to talk to, and obviously all the things, right? You're experiencing it yourself, so you know what I'm trying to say. And then, but let's say you are tied to a karmic relationship that for, let's say, whatever reason, you are not yet allowed to leave, right? And so as difficult as that situation is really for everybody involved, because it's a shitty situation to be in, really, it is here to teach us something, right? And so if you are the person that is entangled with a romantic karmic partner or like a connection with a karmic energy, that energy kind of still is entangled with you because they are kind of shedding light onto something within you that you need to release, right? So you need to heal something. But because these connections or these toxic situations or these kind of like karmic contracts, right? Let's say with people, places, they are very toxic because you're aware of it. It's not that we are like absolutely clueless, just pretty much walking around and not being aware what's happening. All of us are very much aware that, oh, this job that I have currently, it's killing me. I hate it. I hate working here. Maybe I am burnt out and I don't want to do this anymore. But, for whatever reason, I cannot change job right now. Or I love my job. I love what I do, but I hate my coworkers and it drags me down, right? There's something in those karmic contracts to kind of, I hear, keep you hooked, because it's kind of like that, right? So there's something there's like a silver lining, and it could be that, I don't know, let's say, let's continue with the example of a workplace, right? A very toxic workplace. Maybe the workplace is very toxic, but it pays very well. And maybe your goal is to save up and do whatever with the money, right? So you kind of feel like, well, I am aware that the workplace is extremely toxic, for whatever reason, whether it's the people I work with, the people I work for, or the customers themselves, or I hate the job, right? But whatever, it's toxic in some way, but I kind of have to live with it for now because there's something that I want from it. And it's the same thing with karmic situations. So what I'm trying to get to, what I am getting to is, so let's say you have that karmic entanglement with the person, right? And you're thinking like, oh, it's really toxic, we're fighting all the time, there are these things that come up every single time, and when it's bad, it's mostly bad, but then there's this silver lining. And well, it could be anything, but the silver lining could really even be the fact that you yourself are the silver lining in the situation, because maybe you are very well aware that the situation is toxic to you, as in by continuing to be entangled with that person or investing into that person or that connection, that relationship, you are very well aware that you're self-sacrificing because it's not what you want. You maybe you would prefer to be with your divine counterpart, or you would just prefer not to be with that toxic person, right? Maybe it could even be the fact that you kind of feel guilty because, like, guilty for leaving. So if you think like, when you think like, oh gosh, I really don't want to continue being with that karmic person because it's so bad for me, because I feel so bad and I see the other person being bad, but you know that maybe the person is extremely codependent. And the silver lining, which I maybe shouldn't call it that, but like the positive thing, or the thing that kind of keeps you stuck there or keeps you hooked there, is your own feeling, like your feelings of guilt for wanting to or thinking about leaving that person, because maybe that person is dependent on you, right? And so you feel responsible for that person. Oh gosh, if I leave, that person is going to be extremely heartbroken, and I don't want to do that to them because I am a good person. Maybe if I leave because this no longer brings me joy, it's just toxic, it's just toxic, and we both are kind of pretending that it's good. Maybe that person is not working, let's say, or isn't able to work and kind of provide for themselves. You maybe feel guilty for that, oh gosh, if I leave, who's gonna care for that person? Because that person doesn't seem to be able to care for themselves, right? So there are always things that kind of keep us hooked, right? And there's the whole point, because we are meant to stay in these situations for as long as we have decided before incarnating on Earth. So until the karmic contract is fulfilled, we are kind of going to be stuck in the situations. That is just the way it goes. No matter what, no matter how, let's say, ascended you are, like how high vibrational you are, no matter like how much you have detached from the 3D illusions, you cannot avoid that. You just kind of have to allow for the karmic situation, so the karmic contract, to play itself out. But, so, there comes the very controversial thing, because it's controversial, I cannot even pronounce that. Sorry guys. English is not my first language, and I do have trouble pronouncing R's and L's in a word. So it's controversial probably only when it comes to people, so karmic energies. Because the thing is, once your karmic connection with somebody dissolves, let's say your relationship, a karmic relationship resolves, it's not just that, oh, you guys broke up and fine, you move on and that other person move on. You're actually supposed to let go and cleanse yourself and your 3D reality out of that energy. And it's very controversial because right now I am speaking in terms that are high vibrational because I wish for it to be, but it's basically you getting rid of everything that had to do with that person and that relationships. And I will tell you why. This is something that when it came up to me, for me, myself, I also kind of had this, there was a certain kind of resistance at first, and then I didn't. And because I have witnessed, it happened to me, and I was witness to so many other couples having that exact conversation about one of them or both of the parties involved, if you will, holding on to the past, as in holding on to let's say objects from the past, or it could be gifts, it could be pictures, it could be trinkets, like whatever the hell, right? Or even like as silly as it is, like there are people that will tattoo their current partner's name, right? And then let's say you have tattooed a name on you, and then you meet somebody new, and obviously on your body there's somebody else's name, right? And it kind of should be up to you, the person that has a tattoo of a name, to kind of rid yourself of that name before you get into a new relationship. Actually, you should rid yourself of that name because that person has vibrated out of your life, and the version of you that was together with that person no longer exists. And this is kind of what I wish to share, what is very controversial, right? Because you people maybe will not. You're free to, of course. Maybe you will kind of come for me in the comments. Maybe you will, maybe you will not. Or maybe we'll just think of it like, oh, maybe you come from your ego, because how can you say that, right? But I will tell you, you should get rid of everything that had to do or has to do with your previous relationships and the people that you were in a relationship with. No matter what kind of history you share, no matter how deep that relationship went, no matter how long that relationship was standing for. And it is because everything is a lesson. It has nothing to do with, oh, these people were bad, so you should forget about them. Yes, maybe they were bad, let's say. Maybe your experience with them has been bad, but it's not about that. It's about your energetic hygiene, because look at it from this side, this perspective. Whether you are, let's say that karmic relationship has ended for you, right? No matter how it ended, doesn't matter. You are no longer connected with a karmic partner, or few of them, doesn't matter, right? You should be getting rid of everything that has to do with that person or these people. Because, first of all, this has been a karmic contract that was always only meant to stay for as long as you needed or you actually decided to experience something and then learn from it. And once that lesson is learned, that person is disappearing from your life. You will never see that person again, because that is the nature of a karmic soul contract. It's not bad. It's not about hating on these people. It's not about, doing it out of disrespect for anybody, but it's doing it in honor of you. Because what you're doing, let's say you have received gifts from that person, right? And these are the kind of things that you value a lot because they're either valuable, let's say to you personally, because it's something that you enjoy a lot. Let's say it's perfume, right? Or a piece of clothing or a jewelry or something, whatever it really is, right? As much as you like it, as much as it, let's say the perfume, right? As much as you enjoy the smell of it, you like the smell of it, you enjoy wearing that gift or that item really, because everything is energy. Even the solid things that we see, we're kind of brainwashed that these things are solid, but everything is energy. But you can think of it that every object that you have received as a gift carries energy of that karmic debt. So it carries the energy of that karmic person and of that lesson. And so my question to you is, why would you wish to continue carrying on energy, a heavy energy of a lesson from the past when you have already gotten over it? Like, let's say you have already learned a lesson. Why continue carry on that burden with you when you no longer need to? So it could be gifts, right? But it really has to do with everything. Whether it's, let's say, a house that you have purchased with your karmic partner, right? It's a big purchase, it's worth a lot of currency, yada, 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 right? And there's a lot of memories in it, and there has been, of course, very good memories there with that person. Yes, of course they were. There's nothing wrong with that. And there has been a place and time for that, but now, let's say that time has passed. And why it's controversial? People will say that, oh, but it's part of my life, oh, it's part of my past, it's my history, everybody has history, and like, why would I get rid of it? And I will tell you why. First of all, yes, you should always respect everybody. Whether there are people like, I don't know, spitting in your face, as horrible as it sounds, you should respect them, because it's a silly example, but it's also a good example, because you have a soul contract with that person the two of you agreed that that person is going to come into your life and spit into your face and disrespect you, right? And as angry as you can be, as wronged as you can feel, as disgusted you can be, you should respect the experience, because it's meant to teach you something, right? And the ideal is for you to not project the anger or the rage or the disgust that rises within you when that happens, and then project it onto the person. So the best would be, right? I apologize. Like the highest vibrational thing would be for you to not get angry at the person, but maybe ignore them, walk away, and not engage with them really, because what's the point on screaming at them? So that's the ideal, right? So this is kind of the same idea. Yes, you should respect the fact that, yes, you and that karmic partner has shared energy. Shared history, right? Because it has been a soul contract. It's a karmic one. So it's a lesson, or it has been a lot of different lessons. Sure. And it's not bad. It's wonderful. You should be grateful for that part of your life. But that part of your life, first of all, no longer exists, because that version of you no longer exists. That version of that person no longer exists. And there's no reason for you to carry on that burden, that heavy burden, that energy with you after the lesson is done. So let's give an example of a couple that, so I said, like, let's say you have bought a house and lived in a house with your karmic partner, right? And you no longer are together, but you are still in that house because you feel like, oh shit, well, it's a house, it's a huge purchase. It's not just about like me packing my bags and moving out, obviously not, but I'm telling you what you should be doing for your own sake is cleanse your energy. Because what you're doing, even though you have learned the lesson and the person, so the energy, the karmic energy is no longer there, the home, the house that you had with them is infused with that karmic debt. It's infused with their energy. So there's no need for you to sit in that energy when you no longer need to. Yes, you have been, let's say, required to. So some people would say like, oh, I've been stuck in that situation. So yes, you have been stuck in that situation for a period of time because you were meant to learn from these situations from that period of time. But now you're out of it. And so there's no reason for you to sit in it. And so, yes, you're meant to actually sell the house and get yourself your place that is only your own, because truly only then you actually have let go of that karmic debt. So this is by you kind of selling that house that you had with somebody else, right? And now that karmic energy is no longer in your life. You have learned the lesson. Let's say now you're free, right? Or let's say now you're healed and you're free, you're single, or wish to date somebody else, or are dating another person, right? The next person, let's say. That's fine. But you should be getting rid of that old energy in order to welcome a new energy into your life. So yes, you should be getting rid of that house, selling it and getting yourself another house or an apartment or a van, whatever you wish to do, because you're actually meant to let go of all that. And like, okay, so let's say a house, right? It's a big purchase, but it has to do with everything because everything is energy. So gifts that you have received, things that you have purchased with another person, that the two of you purchased with the intention of using it together or benefiting from that thing together, should also be sold. Pretty much getting rid of, because you're meant to release that energy. You're meant to release that part of your life because you're no longer there. It's been there because it was very much needed. It was very much sacred, but now you're meant to move forward. That is the whole point, right? But it can be, and this is what a lot of people find like almost like a, what is that, intrusion or of their like privacy, because like old pictures you have with your exes, right, with your karmic partners that you are no longer with, old text messages, like any kind of items that has to do with them, really, because it's not just like items or things that remind you of them, because it's everything that has to do with them, their phone number, their contact information, their pictures, the old text messages, old chat history, right? The items that, again, you have received from them or you have purchased together with them, all of that you should be releasing. And this is something that a lot of people find that there comes like a, well, it's a blockage, but there comes like a resistance within them when they themselves are being asked to do that. I have been a witness of it many times, where either one or both parties in a romantic connection, and it doesn't really matter whether it's a karmic one or not, for the sake of the argument, that either one or both are kind of have an issue that the other party has like old items, I don't know what it can be, like pictures, text messages, phone numbers of their exes, right? And then the argument usually to that is, well, it's like part of me, it's because it's been a part of my life in the past, and we have shared history, and you also have history, and that person has been in my life before you. And yes, all of that is true, and a lot of times it is not about, let's say, the new person not respecting your history with another person. It's more of a question, your attachment to the past person. So how many times have we heard, whether it was somebody we know, a colleague, a friend, acquaintance, that would say like, oh, my ex called me, or like I have my ex number, or I don't know, I saw something online that my ex was doing, or let's say, I don't know, a piece of jewelry or an item or clothing or whatever it can be, really. Oh, this is something that my ex got me, but like I really, let's say a pair of shoes. I don't know. I have no other examples right now, but let's say a pair of shoes, right? So you have maybe received as a gift a pair of shoes, and you're thinking like, well, I really like these shoes. They're very comfortable. Why would I get rid of them, right? Yeah, sure, they were a gift from my ex, but like, what's the point? And you may have practical reasons for keeping something, right? Maybe because it's a big purchase, like let's say the house, or I don't know, maybe a piece of jewelry. But it's not about the items themselves, but it has everything to do with your attachment to these things. And the whole thing is really, if there's a resistance rising within you, you should ask yourself, why do I feel the need to kind of defend the fact that I have kept something that my ex has given me, or that I have shared with my ex, or that I have purchased with my ex, right? Even, the reason could be, or like your argument may have been like, because it cost a lot of money, and, money doesn't grow on trees. It actually does, but for the sake of argument, and you feel like, well, I had to work a lot of time or in order to be able to purchase that, and that has been an investment that I did with my ex, yes, but now we're not together, but I get to keep that investment. Like, with all due respect for that, as much as you maybe kind of clothe the item or the purchase or the thing in a cloak of practicality, right? Because you think like, oh, well, but it's such a good thing, or it's so practical, or it brings me joy. The question is really, ask yourself why you are attached to it. Because we are here now and we are on a spiritual journey, and as important it is for our inner selves to be purified and cleansed as often as it's needed, so is our outer selves and our 3D surroundings. Again, with all due respect for the shared history, the nice memories and so on, yes, sure. But if you are, I will say like this, if you're finding yourself currently in this time where you are healing from your past karmic connections, you're healing from karmic situations, you're learning, you're evolving, right? You're letting go of past attachments to people, places, old negative belief systems where you maybe believe that you have been obligated or not worthy, or that everybody abandons you, right? Depending on whether you're the divine masculine or divine feminine, you kind of carry, the same wounds, but they look differently, let's say. So no matter what you're kind of dealing with, you should ask yourself, why do you feel the need to hold on to your past? And why do you feel the need to hold on to the past people? And I will tell you that if you feel the need to hold on to the past, whether it's a past situation, right, a set of circumstances, because you believe yourself that you have a certain obligation to, let's say, a workplace or a, group of people, friends, right, family, or a karmic romantic partner, right? Or you're just kind of not willing to cut people out of your life and everything that has to do with them, you should ask yourself why. Because it's probably, it is because you still have something to heal from there. But I will tell you something else, and this is kind of what is the maybe meaning behind this these recordings, both the part 1 and the part 2 now that you're listening to, is really you have decided that you want better for yourself, and you wish for a change. You want things to be more fulfilling. So you want to be more light, right? You want to feel more joy. You want to feel more happiness. You want to feel fulfilled, right? You want to do something that brings you joy. You have a soul purpose. So there's something that you feel guided to do for other people, whether it is with your divine counterpart or not. A lot of times for us it is. And when I say for us, I mean for us that are on the twin soul journey. So a lot of times our soul purpose is very much driven of the desire of doing that with your counterpart, and it always is. You're always meant to do that with your divine counterpart, because that's kind of the whole point of you being on this journey, for the two of you to come together and then do things together, right? For others, for everybody, for the humanity. And so you have made a decision to do better for yourself, and to that you deserve better and you want better for yourself, that you're gonna make better choices. And so as much as you're cleaning out yourself from all these wounds and these patterns that are very much negative, or belief systems or addictions, right, that are very much harming you and hurting you and making you suffer, let's say, you should also clean the outside. You should really get rid of the things that have a connection to your past. I mean items, obviously, and the people, because if people, like, whether it's like a family member, and by that I mean a blood family member, right? Or even your own kids, if they're not meant to be in your life, they're not meant to be in your life, and you should be at peace with that. However, like harsh that may sound, like when you first hear of it, like our kids, let's say, like I personally don't have a kid, but our, as in human kids, are karmic contracts and karmic connections a lot of times. And that's why I'm saying they're sacred. They're not bad. And it's not about whether they're bad or good. There always needs to be respect for that. And you honor these past connections, these past people, and the past that you have shared with these people or these situations, let's say. You honor them through embodying and learning the lessons, and through not ever repeating these lessons that these people came into your life to help you heal. So this is something that I have not heard people speak. It has not been, let's say, in my collective. And so here I am telling you guys that as maybe silly as it sounds, you know, go through your things, look at your life, kind of your 3D surroundings, your possessions, your, you know, everything that you own. If it has anything to do with a past karmic connection, get rid of that. Not because these people were bad or that history is bad or you should deny that it ever happened. No, but cleanse your surroundings, because especially the place where you live, so your home and your car, because you continue using this, right, every day pretty much, or however often you do, but the things that you do often and the places that you're often at, so your home and the items that you use or the things that you have at home should be your own only and should be pure in energy, as in you should have and possess things that you have purchased because they bring you joy and not because they have a certain karmic attachment to them. Also, things that you have gotten because you wanted to impress people, you should also get rid of that, because that is a karmic energy, because this is you trying to seek validations from others where you don't really need that, because all the validation you have within yourself. You should cleanse your surroundings from that. It is only for your own good. And just the last thing I want to say, for people that have felt a certain kind of trigger within them when I said that you should get rid of everything that has to do with your exes, and maybe you feel like, but no, like, why would I do that? Like, I love these things, or those things bring me joy, or I love this place, I love my car, I love the, I don't know, gifts, I don't know, I said perfume earlier, let's say the perfume, right? Or jewelry, or clothing, or items, whatever the fuck that is, right? It has to do with the energy of the things and not the things themselves. And so, and I will tell you like this, do the mirror exercise, right? So turn the situation around and think to yourself that you are now coming back into a 3D connection with your beloved, right? Or even if you're meeting a new karmic contract, right? And that is not your divine counterpart, and you wish to, because you're drawn to the new person for whatever reason. And then imagine that You're so excited for that connection. You really want for things to work out, right? Let's say it's your divine counterpart, because that kind of is going to hopefully do what I intend for it to do. So let's say it's time for you to come back to your divine counterpart, and now it's time for your permanent reunion. The two of you guys come together. You will never have to be apart. Your soul will never split into two again. This is enough. You have done enough. You will never be apart, right? There will never be another thing in between the two of you, right? So imagine your excitement. You're very happy about it. You're excited for what you're going to build with your beloved, right? And you're excited and happy and hopeful for the future. And then I will tell you like this. Imagine you meeting your divine counterpart, right? Going on a date or moving in together and commenting on certain things or seeing certain things. And then your divine counterpart kind of saying, yeah, this is something that I have had for a long time. Like, I love this. This has been a gift from my previous connection. And it doesn't feel right for you, because why would your divine counterpart, why would your beloved have something that like a karmic person gave them, right? Like, why do you keep that? And maybe it has sentimental value, because a lot of time for us people, that's kind of the thing, that it's kind of, they have the things, the objects have sentimental value or practical value, but it always has a deeper meaning, because what's the motivation of your divine counterpart keeping things that they have shared with other people? Wouldn't you want to, when you kind of, because this is what happens when we have healed enough and we have merged energetically, and we are ready to get together in the 3D with our beloved, with our divine counterpart. We have risen above everything, and we are actually starting a life anew. We have pretty much died and risen again, right? We have gone through a rebirth, a lot of us through a lot of them. But what you're doing is you're starting your life over, this time free of all the karmic wounds, right? Well, not completely, because you're meant to kind of learn to work with your divine counterpart despite these wounds being within you, right? But you're ready for your beloved, and you're ready to have grounded, like a connection, relationship grounded in the 3D, right? So you're ready to, I don't know, get married, move in together, maybe have kids if you wish to, right? Do work together, do life together. What you're doing is, yes, you're starting over, but wouldn't you prefer to build a life together with your beloved, and fill that life with memories and objects that are just your own? Because this is kind of the whole thing. You have to understand that the past versions of you, they no longer exist, because you have healed all of that. You, let's say, have gone back to the past, to each moment, and healed that version of you, right? So why hold on to the past? And for us, when it comes to these wounds, right? So when it comes to, let's say, certain items that you have purchased or you have been gifted by your karmic partner, right, and from the past, these things still carry the energetic frequency, like the energy of that lesson. And if you bring that into your next connection, because it really is, whether it's a divine connection, so like with your divine counterpart, or another karmic relationships, it doesn't really matter. What you're doing is you're bringing old energy into your new connection. And what you're doing is you're just carrying it more, or like for a longer period of time than you need to. You're meant to put that burden down and really move on from it. You're not meant to look back. You're not meant to, I don't know, let's say keep old pictures or old like text messages or like gifts, whatever they were, well, or old items, well, not old, but items that you, let's say, shared with a karmic partner or have received from a karmic partner. You're meant to let all of that go, because all of that carries the energy of these lessons, and there is no need for you to really carry that with you. And for the last thing I will say, that for a long period of time, and this is personal, I will share this because I'm going to give you an example that what I'm trying to say, what I am saying to you, is not just, it doesn't come from ego. I have moved a lot, and so because I have been moving a lot, I had to kind of go through my items, right? So I had to go through my possessions, basically. I apologize. So with each move, obviously, I kind of wanted to get rid of some of the things, because, like, why would I keep them? I just saw 11:11 on my recording time, actually 1 hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. I wanted to not have to move as many items, and so each time I would obviously kind of go through my things and donate a lot of what I could, sell what I could, right? And if there were like old things that I couldn't do either with, then I would throw these away. Basically, I would just get rid of the things, right? And because I have my path in my life, as a grown-up woman, has been moving quite a bit, I also have gotten rid of a lot of things. And there were things that I have taken with me over and over and over again. Not big things, but small things. They were like small items, right? And kind of like, they were not things that I necessarily needed out of practical value. And this is what I'm telling you this. They had sentimental value. And I carried these items with me because I was going to say because I felt that I had to, but it wasn't my feeling. It wasn't my need of, well, I should have that with me because I feel the need to have that. It was more of like, well, I have been hearing people around me, right, during the course of my existence on this earth, this time around at least. I've been hearing how people are like defending their past and standing up for their past and like, no, these things are like super important. I'm going to keep them because we're all entitled to our past and our history, right? And so that was a karmic imprint, like a social conditioning that I have picked up that I wasn't even aware of. And there came a moment, actually quite recently, I think it was like last year, that I was yet again doing like a cleanse in my home because I wish to sell some items that I wasn't using, that they were just pretty much collecting dust, and so why should I keep them, right? And there were some things that really needed throwing out, and so I did. And there was a lot of things that I felt that I wanted to donate to people that may need that, and so I did that, right? And I actually kind of got to the part when I was looking at these items that had sentimental value, and that those were items that I either have received as a gift from my karmic partners in the past, or things that I myself purchased, right? But it was more for like the enjoyment for me and that current karmic partner. Even if it wasn't bought specifically for that reason, that's just kind of what happened. And I will tell you that because the last time I was doing the cleaning of my home this way and trying to like go through the things, because I really didn't feel the need of having so many items that just were lying around and I wasn't using them, so they had no use for me. And I was told over and over again, like there were certain messages coming through that kind of told me I should do, and so I listened to my guidance. And when I will tell you, when I got rid of these sentimental items, I have not once needed to or revisited the past or these people since then. And that weight that has been within me in form of memories, maybe like a painful memory, or even a memory like a good memory, right, of like a past situation, even if the memory itself was positive, the lesson, let's say, was negative, right? Because the lesson was for me to release something negative from myself. And so I have been carrying with me and having within my vicinity karmic energy in those items, despite me not being in contact with these people for years. And I want you to, I'm saying this, I'm really trying to put like focus, or trying to put focus on what I'm saying, on the fact that it has to do with what you are carrying currently with you and what you are trying to, if you will, carrying or continue carrying into your new life that you don't have to do. And for me, it was such an like almost unintentional, obviously it was my soul and my subconscious that has guided me to do this, right? Probably so that I could make this video and tell you guys, but for a long time I wasn't even aware of these things. And each time, let's say I would open my jewelry box because I would see some jewelry that I got as a gift from my previous karmic connection, right, from my ex. And like each time I would open the box because I was getting something else out of that space where I was keeping that jewelry item, I would be reminded of all of these lessons and these really toxic energies that were present in my life when I was connecting with that karmic partner. And as much as like I could, pretty much I would close the lid and I would be like, oh, I don't need to think about this. And I would move on, right? I would go about my day. I would do the things I was going to do and I would not think about it. But subconsciously, there would be things that would like kind of creep back and certain memories that would come up, and I would be like, oh, why am I thinking about this? Like, this is such old news. It's been so many years. I have not spoken to the guy. I have not spoken about the situation even, right? And it is because the energy has been present, because I have been, despite me not wanting to, like the energy has been present, and each time I looked at the item, I would be reminding of that karmic lesson, and it would be a weight that I was carrying. And this is not the way that I wish to bring into my divine connection with my divine masculine. And even like not like removing that for a second, even with my own life, like for myself individually and personally, I do not want to carry all that karmic weight because I don't need to. Those lessons have been learned. Thank you, my divine masculine. It's thanks to you that I could. And these things are, I have learned from them. I have released them. I have moved on. But somehow it would like come up, and like there was nothing to heal anymore. There was nothing to work through. It was just the energy. And it was like for me personally, the jewelry was one thing. There were like other items, I'm not gonna go into that now, that would be the same thing. And this is your sign, really, and I'm trying to show you that it has nothing to do with disrespecting your past. It has nothing to do with, pretending that a toxic relationship didn't happen. It did happen. You should honor that, but you should honor the lessons that relationship, that toxic relationship, have taught you or has taught you. But you should release the person, and you should release that connection, and you should move on, and you should remove everything that has to do with that connection or these connections, these past situations, these past places from your energy, because you don't need to. I'm begging you, you don't need to carry that energy with you. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you have listened to this, and I really hope that the message have arrived to whoever needed to hear that. Please think about it. Do the mirror exercise. So pretty much just, if it triggered you, if you thought about you and your divine counterpart, if it's something that your divine counterpart is doing, turn it around and picture like yourself doing that to other person, or you being on the receiving end of what you're doing yourself, right? It's such a good way of kind of keeping a check on yourself and kind of checking if there's something that is yet to be released from you, because this human experience, as rich in different experience it's beautiful, and it's also very horrible. It's the same, really. It's really wonderful, right? This is just us energetic beings being in school here on earth, right? There's so much more, and we are actually meant to transcend the really heavy energy and be here as enlightened, ascendant human beings. So really good people, helping each other, working together, and seeing love everywhere, and enjoying the beautiful earth that God or the divine creator created. So release the old stagnant energy. Give yourself the gift of releasing your past. Clean out your home, clean out your, wardrobe, get rid of the items, clean out your phone, your contacts, phone numbers, text messages, pictures. Why keep that? You should only surround yourself with things that truly bring your joy, but the joy should be felt in your heart and not in your mind, because if it kind of feels good for your head, you should look twice, so that it's not, social validation, or it's not you trying to soothe yourself because there's something within you that you kind of don't want to look at, so you're distracting yourself with other things. No. You should keep things around you and in your life, and people. That is also the thing. You should keep people in your life that bring you joy, that are lifting you up, no matter what kind of bullshit you're up to in your life, right? I'm saying this with a smile on my face. So really, true friends, people that are close to your heart, that truly, honestly want the best of you, that always support you, not, hey, go get a better job so that it pays you better so that you can give me money. No, not these kind of people, or, whatever else that is. No, just do a inventory. Clean out your space, clean out your energy, clean out your possessions. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to feel much lighter. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you in another one. Bye.